Well, all right. Welcome back to As It Should Be. Paul Bertolino here in the world famous As It Should Be studio.
Yeah.
And we have right here Crystal Durant in the world famous As It Should Be studio.
Hello.
And we have here Tommy Von Voigt in the world famous As It Should Be studio.
Oh, shit.
And it's so lucky that we all just happen to be in the world famous As It Should Be studios because it makes it much easier to accomplish these episodes.
This is true.
Oh, because we're shooting As It Should Be.
Yeah.
Yeah. See.
Now it all makes sense. Now I get it.
Anyway, but we're going to be talking about our favorite albums of 1981.
Yes.
Yeah, and and I start this time.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
That means glasses on.
Do it to it, Paul.
Oh,
Do
well,
it.
if I must.
You must.
If I must discuss the 80s. No, okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try, I'll try not to beat that joke to death throughout this decade. We'll see. For lack of any other material, though, I can't make any promises. Okay, so honorable mentions. Pretenders 2.
Yes.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yes. ELO Time.
Oh.
Pretty good record, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that record, I feel like some people don't like it, but the people who like it really love it.
Yes.
And, And Saul showed me that album.
Drink.
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Hard Promises. Def Leppard, High and Dry, back there somewhere. Ozzy Osbourne, Diary of a Madman, back there as well. The Kinks, Give the People What They Want. Anybody on that one?
No.
You don't like it?
I stopped with the Kinks before that song that I can't stand.
Oh, well, this is the album right before
I
that.
love Come Dancing.
I hate it. Anyway, I'm classic Kinks. That's me. I don't like 80s.
Yeah.
So.
When I got into the Kinks, stuff like this was what the new stuff was. So,
Yeah.
and I'm 11.
Right.
Stuff like Paranoia, Dave Destroyer was like badass to me when I was that age. But anyway,
And they use their own riff in it too.
and they're kind of devouring their own little their own shit. Anyway, Billy Squier with Don't Say No. Talk about a blockbuster album. That.
Oh my God, Billy Squier.
And if you had talked to me in 1981, this probably would have been my top 2 or 3 albums of the year. Now it's merely an honorable mention, but come on, man. Freeze Frame by Jay Giles Band. You kidding me? That was just
Huge.
you could not avoid that album.
No.
I distinctly remember hearing Centerfold on the radio for the first time, and there was something about the song. I'd never heard it before, but I felt like I had. There was something familiar about it where I felt like it was an old song that was familiar to me. I don't know.
I think
there.
it's because to me it sounds like a because of that calliope and then the na 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 na. It's very reminiscent of the 50s, 60s to me. And it sounds calliope-ish. It's like a song from the State Fair or something. I don't know, but
But
know
it
what
wasn't
I mean?
even that.
It's that kind of vibe, but it's not just that. I mean, it's a rock song. It's a good rock song.
It was actually the verses that made me think that. Flipping notes under the desk.
The whole
there was just
cadence,
something about it,
yeah.
like I felt like I'd heard it before, but there really isn't anything I could point out that is at all like that.
Sometimes there's just songs that just have that kind of element of familiarity to where they just seem like, well, this song must have always existed.
Yeah.
And at one point, it was the first time you heard it, and yet it always had. It's like this.
Like it was
I must have
there.
always known this.
song,
That
yeah.
song was actually the first music I ever liked. It was Centerfold. I heard that, and I was like,
What is this thing called music?
and it was just like, yeah.
But anyway, more honorable mentions. Blue Oyster Cult, Fire of Unknown Origin. Starship, wash my mouth, that was so. Jefferson fucking Starship, Modern Times.
Starship.
Journey, Escape.
Starship.
Where is it? Jefferson Journey, Escape. Hall & Oates, Private Eyes.
Hall & Oates with Starship.
The Rolling Stones with an album. Boy, this would have been high on my list back then too. Tattoo You.
Yes.
Boy, was that album amazing back then. Still great, but I mean, at the time, it was like, holy shit.
I think that's their last.
Moody Blues, Long Distance Voyager. And the album that I got on my birthday in 1981, because I was so anticipating it, because it was the first new release album I was getting from this artist, and I was so excited. Special Forces by Alice Cooper.
There you go.
Yes. But anyway,
Paul,
on to my actual
question for you though. That Moody Blues record, what was it called? It was Long Distance
Voyager.
Long Distance Voyager. Fun fact: if you have to go on a long distance voyage, you know what you can use to do that?
What?
A starship. Anyway, back to you.
Which is why that album didn't make my top 10. But
Fun fact. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Go back to you, Paul.
okay, number 10. My number 10. Point of Entry by Judas Priest. Judas Priest, Point of Entry. You know, this album people tend to kind of slag this album. It's kind of in these days to slag that album. I remember back in the early 80s, nobody was shitting on this record. Not that maybe I was missing it because I was a kid. Maybe Saul and his friends at school, because they were older and they had probably were in junior high by this point, maybe they were all going, oh yeah, they've sold out, this is a lame record. But I just remember it being, I feel like people consider this to be a weak album from this period, Point of Entry.
I mean, okay, yes, I consider it to be weak in that time period, but the idea that that's a sellout record, meanwhile, British Steel is the one that had all sorts of commercial crossover potential.
It did, but this goes further in the direction.
I don't think so at all. No
really,
way.
it kind of the songs are just so. Well, I mean, I guess weak really is the better word. Yeah,
I think there's just a lot of weak writing on that.
Like you
on
say,
that record.
yes. That's a super lame
Yeah,
song.
it's a lot of weak writing. It's just that they weren't as inspired.
I mean, granted, and this is an album I actually made my list, but that's the thing is that, I mean, I always liked it, and it's one of the earliest Judas Priest albums that I was into.
Mm-hmm.
Saul and Caesar, thank you. They
Drink.
had that in their room, and in fact, looking at this my top 10 list, there is one possibly 0 albums on my top 10 that were not in their room, that I didn't discover in their bedroom. So that's so I don't have to say it every time. All right, so my number 9, Y&T with Earthshaker.
Oh, Y&T.
Earthshaker.
Oh.
I really loved Y&T back in the day.
I didn't know you were into them.
You know, yeah, I don't like them as much now, but this, I think, is their strongest album. This is like, boom. And this is the one that has Rescue Me on it. Mm-hmm. And, well, you probably know this album. You probably already know what's on it, so I'm not going to sit there and tell you. But, yeah, Earthshaker is my favorite Y&T album. Number 8, Killers by Iron Maiden. Yeah. Well, I will mention again, going back to Saul and Caesar's room, boy, did I used to sit there in their room and just stare at that album cover. Because that was the first I ever heard of Iron Maiden. I didn't know them when the first album came out, but when Killers came out and Saul and Caesar had the album, I was just like, whoa,
What's on the cover?
this?
What does
Yeah.
the cover look like?
It's
Eddie, but what is he doing?
He's just like standing there and. Like,
It's the one where he has an axe and there's somebody's hand is reaching from out of frame at the bottom, clutching his shirt.
Oh, okay. All right.
You know, and
yeah,
there's a cityscape behind him.
Behind him. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is the one. That is the first sight I ever had of an Iron Maiden Eddie image.
Kind of just standing there posing. Yeah.
Right. Got it.
And so, yeah, that was burned into my brain long before I even listened to the record. But it's a great record. And in fact, I kind of prefer the Paul Di'Anno period.
Oh.
Wish I had some
It's kind of
popcorn.
a little dirtier and more dangerous and even just a little punky.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
100%.
You know,
it is.
obviously Bruce Dickinson can sing him under the table in his sleep. But I don't know, there's just something about those first couple records, you know?
All right.
Yeah. But anyway, number 7. Moving Pictures by Rush. Yeah. Now this is kind of like the big hit Rush album. I mean, you know,
That's the first Rush record I bought.
This is a great album.
yeah. I mean, this is practically. Well, I mean, I was going to say practically the greatest hits album, but I mean, come on, side one, Tom Sawyer, Red Barchetta, YYZ, and Limelight.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Okay, number 6, an album unfortunately I don't have a copy of here. Mob Rules, Black Sabbath. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really too bad that the Ozzy period, or the Dio period of Black Sabbath couldn't have lasted longer.
I know.
You know, because again, there was just all this bullshit with those, you know, like Tony Iommi, who's probably still on coke and the whole thing, and just all these weird tensions arising, and people like thinking that, like, I think there was that whole issue right with the live album where they thought that Dio was bringing down the faders on
on the guitars,
or turning up his vocals or something. Yeah, there was all this
so
bullshit.
And then they would spend the next day mixing in there, and they would undo everything they thought he did, and then he would go in, and it's just this weird coke fueled fucking ego driven bullshit,
completely stupid shit that really robbed us of what would have been some pretty badass records had they continued.
God, if they'd have just done like 2 or 3 more, holy shit.
They did. I don't think. Yeah, they didn't have a long haul on them, but they had a couple more albums.
They could have done a couple more, and they would have been like that mid '80s heavy metal production that just sounds gigantic.
Yeah,
it would have been badass.
That said, though, had they gone on for a couple more albums, we wouldn't have Holy Diver.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I take it back. I walk it back.
How many years was
I
that?
walk it back.
How many years was he in?
Oh, they only had him for like
A
2
couple
years.
years. 2 albums.
That's what
Yeah.
I thought. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so number 5.
It's only number.
Controversy.
What?
Yeah. Prince Controversy.
So fucking amazing.
In the 80s, I wouldn't have rated that album that high. I always really liked it. But I don't know. This is kind of vying to be... That might be my favorite Prince album now.
Whoa!
What?
Like, even above Sign of the Times. Like, Sign of the Times and Parade were my favorites.
Wow.
I think, looking back, though, I kind of feel like that's kind of his best and his coolest album. In a way. You could say Dirty Mind is cooler, but I don't know. I like that era of
Very
Prince, because he's getting really synthy, but there's something really earthy about it too. Like he's still, there's still like this live. You can imagine a live band playing this.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
I can dig that.
Yeah, and I don't know if I told this. This is a little story about this record or about the title track. I don't know if I told in a previous episode or not, but when I was in high school, I had a friend, Joe Blanchard. Shout out to Joe Blanchard. I don't know if he watches these. But I remember him telling me that when he first heard the song Controversy, that he thought that he was saying, "Want your pussy?"
You told me this, yeah.
That's what he wasn't. It wasn't a joke. Like he actually thought that was the lyric.
What a Mondegreen.
Is that hard to believe, though?
Well, that's just it. We are talking about Prince here. So
I mean,
it's
if
not
we're
like,
just one album away from I'd sincerely like to fuck the taste out your mouth. So.
right.
Oops.
I mean,
Want your pussy? Yeah.
Makes sense.
All right, so number 4, No Sleep Till Hammersmith by Motorhead. Another one of those live albums that you just, I have to... You got it. Yeah, I mean, I have it at number 4, no less.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And number 3, just about to be past their expiration date, but man, this is a good one. For Those About to Rock by AC/DC.
They salute you.
You don't like this one.
I don't.
Oh man, I think this. I do think that the album gets weak on side 2, but side 1 on that. Ooh man, side 1 on that. I mean, For Those About to Rock, Put the Finger on You. What else is there? Let's Get It Up, Inject the Venom, and what's the last? Is it Snowball?
Snowblind.
Snowball.
Snowball. Is that
Snowball. Yeah.
Snowball.
Side 1 is a perfect album side. Side 2. Evil Walks and COD. After that, I don't even remember what the fucking songs sound. I don't even remember what the songs even sound like after COD on side 2. But that was a huge album for me back then. So, number 2, an album that I did not even know what to do with when it came out. I had no idea what to even make of it. I bought it the minute I saw it in the store, like, holy shit, they have a new album. And I took it home and I was just befuddled. It took me until the 90s to go, oh, now I get this and now I love it. The Elder by Kiss. Oh man, I did not like it. It wasn't even a matter of liking or just. I didn't even know, like, what are they doing? I couldn't, and then I shoved it away and I picked it up again in the 90s. Well, let's see. I put it on in the 90s. I was like, oh damn, you know what? This is ridiculous, but I kind of like this now.
Okay, I need you, when you edit this, to show the picture of us with our hands on the door. Remember that?
No.
We were walking around. It was when we first met, and there was a door, and it was like, "Ooh, it looks like the Elder," and we put our hands on it. Do you remember that?
I don't. Oh. Do you have the photo? Because I don't know.
I'll have to dig around and see if I still have it. Yeah.
So Tommy's putting on a little sort of show under. So you don't like The Elder?
He hates it.
Move on.
Well, I have a prediction.
Uh-oh.
I predict we're going to be hearing about the Elder from Tommy.
Later. Probably.
That's all I'm saying.
Just saying.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe.
You know, yeah, that record did nothing for me when it was new, but it just hit me completely different.
So what was the light bulb moment?
Well, you know, I was 11 when this record came out, and you've heard this record,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So, you know, I had just finished, you know, we had Dynasty, Unmasked, and I was all about Unmasked. Then this, and I'm 11.
What the hell?
There was just nothing for me to latch onto. It wasn't even that it was bad. I just it just eluded me. Well, you've said this. That the record just completely eluded me.
Ducking
And so
bobbing and weaving.
years went by, and I just got a little older, and I went back to it in my 20s and went, okay, let's listen to this again. And then I got it. I realized it was ridiculous and that it wasn't actually good. But I really liked it. And I'm like, oh, well, how did I miss this song? I really liked this song. You know, it's kind of stupid. Oh, we never haunt you with your sacrifice. You know, but I got into it, you know. So it's like I genuinely like it, but with a little bit of a wink and a nod, because I'm not going to try to claim it's actually like a really great album. I just like it. You know?
Okay.
So your elder self appreciated it more.
Boo. Boo this woman.
That was good, solid material. What else, Paul?
Well, what else? I have a number one. That's
All
what.
right. What is it?
Fair warning, Van Halen. Yeah. I
I do
mean,
not like that cover.
yeah, Mean Street, This Is Love, Push Comes to Shove, out of order, by the way, on the back. Center Swing, Unchained, Dirty Movies, Hear About Later, Sunday Afternoon in the Park, One Foot Out the Door. Yeah, I mean, this record, boy.
And that's another cover where I'm like,
It's a terrible album
awful.
cover. But it's also one of those covers that you really can get lost in.
It has
There's just
become
so much
iconic,
going on.
though. It's become very iconic, even though it's terrible.
Oh, I don't deny that, but
Yeah.
it just looks. Why are you doing that?
I don't know.
You're good looking. Well, some of you are good looking. Put your faces on there.
Yeah.
So some of you are good looking. That reminds me.
Not all of you.
Well, that reminds me. There was, you know, Looney Tunes was a local used record store at the time that I would go into all the time, and my friend Kenny was working there, and my friend Harlan owned the place, and I was in high school by this point, and there was this kid who came in who kind of had an Alex Van Halen look about him, and Kenny and Harlan referred to him as Ugly Van Halen.
Oh.
They didn't say it to his face. He'd be like, oh yeah, oh, it's Ugly Van Halen.
Oh, that sounds like Kenny.
Ugly
mean.
Van Halen. Anyway, so that's my list from 1981. Yeah.
Me likey.
For those who read their lists, I salute you.
Oh.
See, I'm not going to poo-poo on that because it's funny.
Thank you.
But to give you fair warning, we have some ads. Here we go.
Scott is trying a new gel, Colgate Winter Fresh Gel.
Hey, what a super looking gel! Let me try! What a cool taste! Let me try! Mom!
Introducing new Colgate Winter Fresh Gel, a creamy blue gel packed with proven MFP fluoride, the maximum fluoride protection a toothpaste can give.
Scott, it's good for both of you.
Want some?
Regular flavor Colgate, new Winter Fresh Gel. Maximum fluoride protection in a great tasting gel.
This car was made for my family, the Olds Delta 88. We drive it all over California to watch my boys play tennis. It's a diesel and we get tremendous mileage. You know, you expect that in small cars, but this is a family car. No wonder they call the Delta 88 the family car that didn't forget the family.
Save hundreds of dollars on specially equipped Delta 88s and other Oldsmobiles now during Gold Tag Days.
All right, we're back.
We must be back or something.
Oh, yeah.
What are we back
And
for?
Tommy, I think, is
Tommy.
on.
We're back for me.
He's on the
Tommy
list.
time.
Hey, I'm Tommy. You want my lift?
Yeah.
I know Kiss is on your list. Well, I mean, I know which list. I know which list.
That's on a later list.
That's on a later list.
But first, I have Honorable Menciones.
Oh, now it's Spanish.
I don't know what it is. It's just getting weird.
Menciones.
It's so fucking humid in here. I don't know what we're even saying anymore.
Yeah, it's a yeah. I don't know. We
It's
thought
the
we were
hot
gonna. We
lights.
thought we were gonna get off easy today.
Oh, because I
It's the
actually took a
lights.
bike all the way down from Harlem all the way down here to Brooklyn, and it was nice and breezy and pleasant. And I'm sitting here, I'm like,
We got lights on us, above, right on us. This is Hollywood, kid. Get used to it.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's true.
we suffer
We
for
suffer.
our art, man. For
Yeah,
you.
for you.
For you.
For you, yes.
For you.
All right, so my honorable mentions, I've got Diary of a Madman by Ozzy Osbourne,
By Ronnie James
Slate,
Dio.
Bob Daisley, and Randy Rhoads.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
Oh.
ABBA with the Visitors, Juice Newton with Juice, Working Class Dog, Rick Springfield, Belladonna, Stevie Nicks, Killers, Iron Maiden, Beauty and the Beat, The Go-Go's, Duran Duran self-titled, Controversy by Prince, Precious Time, Pat Benatar, and Rick James with Street Song.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh.
I'm very surprised that the Go-Go's are only on your...
Yeah, I would think they would.
list.
They would.
I thought they
shoot
would have
up
been
there.
like at least 5.
You know,
top 5.
I've been saying for a while now that when I started working on my 80s albums list, I was very surprised by what ended up in the top 10s. Yeah,
Okay.
none of these lists really turned out the way I was expecting them to.
Well,
All
if
right.
Tommy's being surprised, then you and I don't know shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's going to be Gobsmack City.
So,
Hell.
my number 10, an album that I know my dude Dr. Bertolino here absolutely adores. That would be The Ramones with Pleasant Dreams.
Yes.
You are there for this album.
Not really.
Okay, moving on.
Not really.
Anyway, up next, number 9, a genuinely terrible, awful, fucking horrible band that managed to shit out a couple of really brilliant albums. We have Motley Crue with Too Fast for Love.
Wow.
Yeah, they're really
Well, you
bad.
got- well,
They're
see,
really
now-
bad.
That obviously you're doing the Leather Records because that's when that came out. Just so you know.
Oh yes, yeah.
I'm doing Elektra.
Oh, you're doing. Oh,
That's
okay.
all I'm saying. That's why.
Well,
That's why you have not heard
yes,
about.
but
That's why you haven't heard that from me yet.
If I'm not mistaken, doesn't the Leather Records version have Toast of the Town on it?
It does.
There you go.
Which is why you would probably choose that one over.
I rest my case.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We're so. This is just one of those albums, just like the singles, where sometimes you're going to have one person's going to have it on this list, and then you're going to go to the next episode, and some other guy's going to have it, or another one of us is going to have it.
Some other
Yeah.
guy.
Spoiler alert.
A similar thing could possibly happen with Under the Blade,
Could be.
because there's the Secret Records version, and then there's the Atlantic remix. We'll see.
Yeah.
But my number 8, Electric Light Orchestra with Time.
Yes.
My number 7, Black Sabbath with The Mob Rules. You're all fools. Oh my God, so good. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's so good. Number 6, Hall & Oates, Private Eyes.
Yeah.
I don't need to explain Hall & Oates. Get on it.
You had to do 2 before I finally caught on.
They're watching you. They see your every move. I love it. All right, my number 5, Rush with Moving Pictures. Paul already said everything I need to say about Moving Pictures. Incredible album.
Yeah.
It really is.
What is there to say about this album? The track listing on side 1.
Other than you need to get this record. My number 4, Van Halen with Fair Warning.
Oh,
I do
interesting.
still like the album.
Okay. Now, see, the way the vibe I was getting from you on the album, I would have thought that would be like an honorable mention.
No. I still like the album. When I talk about that album, I'm talking about it in the context of Roth era Van Halen albums. So, if that makes any sense, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. But my number 3, Journey with Escape. Woo-hoo-hoo.
God damn.
Uh-oh.
Wow. Another record that you could not, you literally could not escape.
Yes, yeah,
No,
that's not a very apropos title because you
Yeah,
could
you
not.
could
That
not
album
escape
followed you wherever you
Oh
went.
Everywhere
my
you
God,
went.
it will follow
Yeah.
you.
Yes, follow you. Follow you wherever you may go.
Yeah.
Oof.
That actually, this is arguably the least escapable album of this year.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And my number 2, Billy Squier with Don't Say No.
Holy number 2 of that. Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Don't Say No?
That's the stranger
It
of the
is.
early 80s.
This is Billy Squier's The
It
Stranger.
is.
Yeah,
Absolutely
yeah.
it is.
You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Very true.
And that leads me to my number 1, Def Leppard with High and Dry. Good.
I love that cover.
Yum. Eat it up. This is this record though. Yep. And that's me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bravo.
All right. And we will be right back after these messages.
Oh, you finally found your young Prince Charming. Too bad your breath is so alarming.
Brush your breath, brush your breath, brush your breath with Dentine.
You made her notice you're alive, but she smelled your breath and took a dive.
Brush your breath, brush your breath, brush your breath with Dentine.
Not even mouthwash can freshen your breath more effectively than when you're chewing Dentine.
Gee, your birthday party was quite a treat till your breath just knocked them off their feet.
Brush your breath, brush your breath, brush your breath with Dentine.
At the top, everything's coming up Cal next at JCPenney. Stand up and be counted, because this top is running hot in colors that go from innocent to outstanding. This sweater is a top priority, and it's just $13. You'll be sitting pretty, right up to your ears. At the top, only at JCPenney.
I think we're back.
All right, we're back.
I think so.
We are.
1981.
Can you guys confirm?
I'm here.
Yes, we're here.
Here we are. All right, so
Hey.
Crystal.
All right, here's my runners-up list for 1981. Trust by Elvis Costello. Stands for Decibels by the DBs. Face Value, Phil Collins. Moving Pictures, Rush. Another One Rides the Bus by Weird Al Yankovic. Bangkok Shocks and Saigon Shakes by Hanoi Rocks. Oh yeah. Stray Cats. Face Dances, The Who. Directions, Miles Davis. East Side Story, Squeeze. Magnetic Fields, Jean-Michel Jarre. I think his best record ever. Red by Black Uhuru. Juju by Susie and the Banshees. Fresh Fruit and Foreign Places by Kid Creole and the Coconuts. What Happened? The English Beat. Beauty and the Beat, The Go-Go's. High and Dry, Def Leppard. Womp That Sucker by Sparks. The New Traditionalist by Devo. Sons and Fascination and Sister Feelings Call by Simple Minds. Wild Things by The Creatures, which is really Susie and Budgie from Susie and the Banshees. Happy Birthday by Altered Images. Private Eyes by Hall & Oates. Walk Under Ladders by Joan Armatrading. Ghost in the Machine by The Police. Get Lucky by Loverboy. Speak and Spell by Depeche Mode. October by U2. Dare by Human League. Tom Tom Club. Movement by New Order. I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett. Nonstop Erotic Cabaret by Soft Cell. And Wild Gift by X.
Oh, so I'm surprised
It's still
you
ended
have
up
Face
in your-
Dances on that list.
It did. Yeah, I listened to it again.
And it didn't make you like it less.
Yeah, I mean, how can I explain this?
You can't explain.
I think it's love.
You got a feeling inside about this album?
Yeah.
Dead Air. Dead Air.
I mean, I listened to it again, and it sounded different to me, I'll say. Like I don't hate it as much as I thought I did.
Okay.
Does that make any sense?
All right. I guess, there we go.
That's all I got. All right. Here's my list. Coming in at number 10, it's a tie.
Oh!
Our first tie in a couple years.
Yeah. And that is Kiss Me Deadly by Generation X and Tattoo You by the Rolling Stones. Now, there's not pomegranates and pineapple.
It's not?
They're sort of, well, to me, like, I get it. It's like, it's punk rock new wave, and then it's the Rolling Stones. But I feel like Tattoo You, the Rolling Stones kind of, not that they changed, but they let up a bit, and it's like they let in some disco kind of funky feel. and I mean, they're the sort of the two closest things that I could put together for a tie. It was really hard, because I really do love them both, and I didn't want to let go of Tattoo You because I feel like that's
If you had to let one go, it would have been that one.
It would have been that one because I think that it's the last good record that they ever made.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. I would say that.
Everything
or
else-
the last really good
Really
one. I mean,
good
you can
record.
find moments later on, but it's like a whole album. Yeah.
I can't. Like, Steel Wheels sucked, and I think everything else stunk after that. I don't know. I feel like this was their last gasp to me.
And they had to go back into the archives, back
to
into the
get
vaults, and get old songs
right?
to even do that.
Yeah, it was not. Yeah, like.
So in a way, Some Girls is kind of like their last gasp.
Yes, and this
in
is
that respect.
correct. And this is Rehash. You're right. Yeah. But yeah, as far as that's the last Stones record I ever bought, because I heard Steel Wheels on the radio. A college station played the whole thing, and I was like, this stinks. And then I had to go, I was forced beyond my will to see that show live because my person who was a friend of mine had never seen the Rolling Stones before in his life, and he's like 12 years younger than I am or something. And he's like, oh, my parents got me tickets for Steel Wheels. And I was like, great, have fun. And he's like, no, you're a Stones fan, come on. And I was like, oh my God.
You're like, I'm a Stones fan.
Yeah, so
I wanna see
we
this.
saw it at RFK in the rain. Oh my God, it was horrible. All right. Coming in at number 9, Duran Duran. Wow. Masterpiece, I think.
And you may want to let the audience know what connection that has to you.
What connection does that have to me?
Durant.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Because you told me they used to call you that in school.
Yes, they did.
Which I still think about every once in a while and it makes me laugh.
Yeah. Hey, Durant. I was like, oh, that's so original.
It's funny.
It's funny. Coming in at number 8, it is The Unescapable Escape by Journey. Like a greatest hits record.
Yeah, kind of.
Amazing.
That wasn't officially a greatest hits record. Every fucking... it's just so great.
They have several albums like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot of
they
albums
do.
like that.
So good. Oh, man. Coming in at number 7 is Fair Warning by Van Halen.
No.
Yes. Hot Potato. What the fuck? Just like you, when I heard that on the radio, I was like...
But that, of course, wouldn't have been for a couple of years.
I know, but still, like, this to me was like...
Let's edit this out, Crystal.
No. What I'm saying is, I had the same feeling when I heard this.
When you heard this, you had the reaction that I had when I heard Hot Teacher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 6 is Night Clubbing by Grace Jones.
Oh
my God, it's so great. Oh, man. Man, oh, Manischewitz. She's like 85,000 years old and still is exactly the same in concert. She's still hula hooping while she's singing. Her body is amazing. This record, so great. Oh, man. Wow. Night Clubbing. Yeah, awesome. Coming in at number 5 is Pretenders 2 by Pretenders. Another classic record. I think every song on it is really good.
Yeah. There always seems to be this thing where people put out like these really just absolutely mind-blowing first albums and then have the second album called 2 and it's not quite the same. Like they did that, Van Halen. Great albums, but just not on, like they don't
Same
step
level.
it up. It's a little notch below.
Yeah. It feels like they recorded both these records at the same time, kind of.
At the same time, yeah, and then like this is made up of the songs that weren't quite good enough to make
For
the first one. Yeah.
I love Pretenders. They're so great.
Like Led Zeppelin did that. No, I'm kidding. Boy, am I kidding there. Boy, am I kidding there.
Oh, it's getting hot in here. Yeah. All right, coming in at number 4 is Talk, Talk, Talk by the Psychedelic Furs. Another great Psychedelic Furs record. Man.
I haven't heard this album.
New wave goodness. Richard Butler plays the saxophone. It seems kind of incongruent, but it works. He did on the other one too. Oh man, that whole crew, like them and Echo and the Bunnymen and British new wavy thing people. It's just The Cure. To me, it's timeless. But again, time and a place. I'm in high school. Thank you, Diane, for playing this record to death as well when we were in college. Yeah, I love it. I love them. They're great. Number 3 is Street Songs by Rick James. Yes. Oh my God, Rick James.
Now, is this the album where he came out and said, I'm my own genre. I'm punk funk?
Yeah.
Is that I don't remember what album he was on when he said that.
Well, because the other one, it became official when he put out Standing on the Top with the Temptations. Because in the lyrics, he's like, I'm with the punk funk, standing on the top.
Right.
Bum, 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 bum. On the top, getting down. Yeah. Right. Oh, he was an asshole, but boy, could that guy write some songs. And the band, if you look at old videos from this time period, like late 70s through this, it's hysterically funny because, they all got cornrows, glitter everywhere, the beads, the outfits, and then there's always one white guy in the band. There's always one white guy, usually like chiseled, beautiful, semi-androgynous, feathered hair, really long, and he's getting down, but it's just like, yeah. It's kind of weird. It's funny. And his backing singers, who some of them turned into the Mary Jane Girls. And then I got number 2, I have Computer World by Kraftwerk. Probably their best known record. Oh man, they're just so great. Kraftwerk. They sound like robots, but it's awesome.
They sound like robots.
They're great. I love Kraftwerk.
Well, it's funny, even though they have a lot of albums, like they had quite a few albums in the 70s, like they were long since established before the 80s hit, but what could be more 80s than those guys?
Yeah,
really?
it latched on because there's Rocket by Herbie Hancock, there's, Planet Rock, African Bambaataa, like this whole vibe. And, it was Giorgio Moroder in the 70s, and then it turned into this in the 80s, I think. Along with Devo, using a lot of synths and keyboards and stuff, even though it's very different than Kraftwerk, but just that vibe and that energy, I think, is specifically very 80s. And my number 1 is a tie.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I got 2 ties this time. And this one will probably make more sense to people who don't think I make sense. And that is Controversy by Prince and The Time by the Time. Now, obviously, they have to be back-to-back because Prince wrote all of that.
That basically is a Prince album.
And sang
performed
all of it. And produced all of it.
I think everything is literally all of it is Prince, and then at the last minute he just replaced his vocals with Mars.
Yeah. And found Jesse Johnson and Monty and everybody else and put them on the road. But they're both fan-fucking-tastic. The Time? What? Oh, man. It's so great. Yeah, big part of my life back then. I think I wore out both of those records, too. Over and between me and my mom and my sister. Yeah. I had to replace them a couple of times.
So your mom's like hanging out listening to Want Your Pussy?
Yeah, she wasn't singing that, but
that wasn't. No, she
loved it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she loved it. Like her biggest Mondegreen was, which I think I talked about, singles of the year. Cyndi Lauper, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. She thought it was They Test the Water instead of They Just Want.
They test the water.
Yeah, she did. She's like, we were in the car one day, and she's like, they test the water. They test the water.
Stop.
And I was like, what are you talking about? They test the water? And she goes, yeah, that's what they're singing. They test the water.
Oh,
and I said,
that's adorable.
No. It's They Just Wanna. No, I think it's Test
They
the
Just
Water.
A Wanta.
They Just A Wanna, yeah.
Just A Wanta.
And
if you want to get it right.
so I had to put headphones on her and make her listen to it. And then she's like, oh, okay, but I'm still gonna sing that. And she did.
As she should.
I listen, yeah. Joyce was
All right. We're going to test you guys with some commercials now. Yeah, let's see.
Go drink some water.
How does it go?
Chocolate.
Peanut butter.
Hey!
Oh, hey, you got your chocolate and my peanut butter.
Peanut butter on my chocolate.
What?
Delicious.
2 great tastes that taste great together. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Real milk chocolate, delicious peanut butter.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
And Reese's Crunchy Peanut Butter Cups topped with chopped peanuts.
Something special seems to happen when you put a kid on a Schwinn BMX.
And there's Donnie Atherton, the national BMX champ in position 3. Atherton takes a quick lead, followed by Bobby Carlton and Jerry Field. It's Atherton into the straightaway.
For every Schwinn BMX that makes headlines winning a race. Thousands of other Schwinns win races you never hear about.
Ready?
Are we hating now?
We're hating.
I started.
It.
Crystal went last. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, I have the last word.
Okay.
On hate.
Don't mind us here. We're back, but we're just getting our shit straight here in the world famous Session Studio.
We're all just
It's time
combobulated.
to hate.
It's like 105% humidity here, and as it should be studios, we are actually wilting at this point.
It's the lights.
Oh, okay.
Nobody is going to give me props for that.
It's the light. Da, 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 da. It's the light. Well, yeah, but we can't acknowledge it yet because we have to acknowledge it in 1983.
Sorry.
2
years away, yeah. 1983.
My bad.
Okay, so time to hate.
Hate it.
All right. Well, I have a one runner-up and I have a worst of the year.
Oh.
My runner-up. Okay, now I've talked about going to Montgomery Ward's. You know, there was a shopping center across the street from the apartment where I lived back then, and Montgomery Ward's was in that shopping center, and they had records. I've said this many, many times. So one of the times I went over there to browse the records in Montgomery Ward's, looking at Kiss records or whatever, I discovered this fucking record, and I did not know what was going on. Renaissance by Village People.
Oh,
do you know what I am talking about? You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I remember looking at this and being, what the fuck is happening? I was intrigued
That's when
because
they changed their whole image then, right?
They went to like this new romantic image. Now, I was intrigued because I liked the Village People because I liked the singles that were on the radio.
Oh my God.
I was a big Kiss fan, and they had makeup on the cover. So I didn't buy the record, but I was really intrigued by it, and I used to stare at the cover and just be like, what are they doing? I'm intrigued by this, but I don't get it.
Yeah, it was like they took a look at Adam Ant and Kiss and was like, let's do that.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It was only years later that I finally got, sometime in the 90s, I think I bought a used copy and went, I should buy this and listen to it at last. It's a head scratcher, to say the least.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those records where a band takes this sort of weird turn that just leaves you going,
what?
Huh?
Yeah.
Is that the album that's got Sex on the Phone? Or is that after that?
Oh, I don't probably.
They tried for like a hot minute to stay relevant in the early 80s.
Food Fight is one of the songs on there.
It wasn't working though, man.
Food Fight.
Yeah, there's a song called Food Fight.
It wasn't working.
Yeah, so but that's only my honorable mention. Let me go glasses back on here.
Real Deal Holyfield.
Oh yeah. Okay. I really hope you guys know this album. My worst of the year, the All Sports Band.
Oh no.
The All Sports Band.
Yeah.
You do?
I remember this.
I don't know this.
It's a band. It's All Sports Band. It's this rock band, sort of pop rock band.
Yeah.
It kind of like the earlier Village People. Each member had a different look. Like there was a football player, there was a basketball player. There was like the singer was a boxer.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. It's amazing, and it's amazingly horrible.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Seek out this record. Go to YouTube. Look it up. There's a video. Yes, the All Sports Band.
Wow, I've never heard of this. This sounds dreadful.
It's absolutely. It's kind of dreadful and glorious at the same time. Like it's not one of those things that I hate. Like, oh my god, awful. Like fucking BTO. I actually kind of enjoy it, but it's absolutely terrible.
I remember seeing it in a record store, and I didn't really look at it that hard, so I was like, why are all these sports players? I thought that they were famous sports players.
Yeah, he's like,
like, what are they doing? Why do any of them sing? What is this? And I just kept going.
Yeah.
And then a couple weeks later, I saw it again, and I was like, oh, these are just some guys.
Yeah. And every member is a different sport.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's. Do look this up.
Fuck.
Okay. All right, so on to Tommy.
Oh, over to me. I mean, I'm not going to be able to top the All Sports Band. I mean, what do I have? Welcome to Hell by Venom. So the reason why I wanted to bring this up, when you get into the 80s, there's no shortage of underground metal bands that are putting out crap albums. You can you can list them all for days and never run out if you want to find shit records. The reason why I wanted to make mention of this, because a curious thing I find happened with heavy metal, where after a certain period of time, you had a certain subset of metalheads that were listening to shit that was just the heaviest, most extreme shit they could.
Right. And that was the point. It was. They made a point of it.
It is the most abrasive, obnoxious, dreadful, just fucking pure noise. It's become where it literally just becomes abrasive noise, and that was the point. They were just trying to be. They were trying to lean into this whole outcast. I'm dangerous. I listen to extreme music.
Extreme. It's the point of it is being as extreme as
extreme as possible, and it's not even about musicality anymore. They can argue until they're fucking blue in the face, but if you're getting down to Scandinavian black metal records, you are not in it for the music. You're in it because you want to just be with corpse paint, holding swords in a fucking frozen forest.
Right.
And to me,
frozen forest.
This is where this kind of starts.
I would say I would agree.
Yes, because you had bands that were getting progressively heavier. You had Motorhead putting out really heavy records that people were like, "What the fuck?"
But those
they
were
were
musical
absolutely
records.
still musical records. There's great fucking music on those records. You had the whole new wave of British heavy metal movement. It was like, how we're gonna get heavier, we're gonna get faster, we're gonna take our cues from like the DIY punk movement, all that stuff. And then you had a band like Venom that comes out, and they're like, we're just gonna do abrasive, evil, satanic noise. These guys were horrible. These guys were horrible. I remember the funniest description of Venom I ever read was in one of Henry Rollins' books when he talked about how Black Flag played a couple shows where they opened for Venom, and that his recollection of Venom was they get up on stage, they're like, 1, 2, 3, 4, fuck you, and then 1, 2, 3, fuck you, good night, we're Venom. Like, I can't fucking. He was like, it was an hour of I can't fucking hear you, and then fuck you, good night. And that was it. It was just nonsense. It was just noisy fucking nonsense. And I kind of put a lot of the blame on shit like those Venom records. The next year they put out another one called Black Metal, which a lot of those Scandinavian black metal records all hail as like an enormous influence, and it's even more abrasive bullshit noise. So it's worth mentioning as a dishonorable mention because of what this led to.
What it begat.
Yeah. And of course, and metal, because of this, a lot of metal just got worse and worse and worse. It just got dumbed down to just be heavy, down-tuned, abrasive sludge that metalheads swear is awesome, but it's just basically fucking noise.
Right.
Did they ever have any videos?
Venom, I have no idea. I mean, maybe, who knows? It would be low-budget, horrible crowd.
How many records did they put
they
out?
would be like, it would be made with camcorders and
I mean, they put out a bunch of records in the 80s. They're all worse than the previous one. But my actual worst of the year...
What would that be, I wonder?
What is it?
Kith, with music from The Elder.
Really?
Yes. So,
wow,
all right,
did you see this coming?
I had no idea.
Here's what I wrote. I had to justify this one. I wrote, I was hesitant to go this route.
Says the guy who put the Beatles at the worst over fucking Pat Boone.
I do what I want.
Okay.
I do what I want.
Don't forget.
Do not forget, I do what I want. I said, at times it's not so much terrible as it is just baffling and incomprehensible. But overall, I feel like it's an awful album and a serious misfire at a point in time where they really could not afford a misfire.
That is one of the truest things ever said.
They could not have put out a worse record for their career at that point in time.
Yeah.
Truly.
It was almost like they were trying to kill themselves.
Like they got up one day and were like, we'd love to see if we can go back to working day jobs. Let's put out music from The Elder.
Yeah.
I want to
That'll
go back.
get us there.
I want to go back to teaching school.
I think my cab license might still be.
Oh yeah.
How many people like driving cabs?
I can't.
Yeah.
I want to be a hack again.
I want to be a cab driver. I'm going to shape the minds of America's young. Yeah.
Well, and what happens is that at this point Peter's out.
Yes.
So the only voting members are Paul, Gene, and Ace.
And Ace is
completely, and Ace knew at the time, like, you guys, we don't want to do this. And Paul and Gene are like, oh, you're merely Ace. You don't know what you're talking about.
Props to Ace. He was against this the entire time. He said this was a terrible
Ace
idea.
wanted to make Creatures of the Night then.
Yes.
And
really?
Paul and Paul and Gene are like, you don't know.
Yeah.
You're merely Ace. You're not
that.
Paul and Gene. What do you know?
But I did have one final thing to say about it, and that is, at least the song I, totally slaps. That is a great song. I love that song. It's an awesome kick-ass song.
Well, there you go.
Don't know it.
It's kick-ass.
All right. I have, I guess, pretty decent list here.
Okay.
Which is the worst? Okay. So let's start off with Frankie and the Knockouts.
Oh, shit.
Their self-titled record. I don't even know how to describe it.
I always forget about them.
First of all, like, Frankie and the Knockouts. Are you all boxers? I don't know.
Maybe they're
all
people
briefs.
who had been in the all sports
They're all
band. And
briefs. Yeah, and
Yeah.
they split off and
they split
made
off
their own
and,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't. Yeah, I can't. Then we have. Oh God. Then we have the soundtrack to Chariots of Fire by Angelus. by Vangelis. Wow. I mean, talk about something you couldn't get away from. It was everywhere, all the time, everything.
Yes. When
God
you weren't
damn
hearing
it.
something from Journey Escape, you were
Yes,
hearing
you
that.
heard this.
Yeah.
And a fucking movie about British people running. Who cares?
British people.
Well,
And runners.
And runners. And if you're
suppose.
British and a runner,
Oh, shit. Have I got a movie for you?
yeah.
well, I tell you what, black people didn't give a shit.
What about British black people?
No, they didn't care either.
Oh,
What about British
they
black
didn't
people
run.
who were runners?
No, there was none of them.
Oh, okay, all right. Well,
They
we
didn't
tried.
exist.
We
stand
tried.
corrected.
Look at the movie. They didn't exist.
I did my best.
Okay, then I've got Rockin' Roll by Greg Kinn.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
And now, wait, is this the one with the breakup song?
Oh, that's on that one?
That's the one that has that song. Okay.
Yeah. Which is a very catchy tune, don't get me wrong. It's the earworm. Now I'm going to be singing, I don't ride 'em like that anymore. I know the fucking song.
Yeah.
But he's just so, our love's in jeopardy.
He's very bland.
Baby. Yeah.
Ooh.
Earworm. He's the earworm dude. And the rest of it is lame. He wrote 2 shitty songs that were less
No, he
shitty
wrote
than
more
the
than
rest.
2 shitty songs.
Well, I mean, shitty hits.
I would
should
guess.
say shitty hits. Then I have "Why Do Fools Fall in Love" with Diana Ross. by Diana
Oh
Ross.
shit! My mom bought that record.
Really?
We had that shit in the apartment. I know that album.
Wow. First of all, and the video was terrible too. I mean, I understand wanting to give props to people, but she's so like, oh, I know you know that, because she knew everybody. Whatever. Oh, it's just lame. And then I have music from The Elder by Kiss. I don't need to talk about that anymore. But
Well, kind of. I mean, so you don't like it?
I don't like it. No, sir.
Is there even
I
a song?
don't.
Even one song? Do you like?
No.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
No.
Wow.
And I looked at the cover and I was like, what is this? I don't know. Who's the Elder? It didn't even dawn on me to think concept record.
Well, they never actually made the movie, so everyone was mystified.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like in a previous episode when I talked about the War of the Worlds album, how that was supposed to be the next important album. This is Kiss trying
Yeah.
to make an important album.
record,
And it's like,
yeah.
oh, come on, Kiss.
Like,
You're out of your
stop it.
depth.
But the number one most egregious piece of crap from that year is the Long Play album by Stars on 45.
Oh.
Remember them? Stars on 45?
Oh, that's like a Jive Bunny and the Master Mixers kind of thing, right? Where it's like a medley kind of thing.
It's a
Yes.
medley of current hits.
Yeah.
Sometimes they
To
did
this.
oldies.
Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what the song is. It's 4/4, 4 on the
Yes.
floor.
Right.
And they make everything. Remember, twist and shout. Blah, blah, da, 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 da. Yeah.
Yeah, it's music for
Oh.
People who don't like
for
music.
everybody's aunt to dance to at
Yes,
a wedding.
basically, yes,
Yes, that's
and
what
bar
it's for.
mitzvahs, whatever. It sucks. It sucks. Now, I will say that whoever thought it up, I think it's a very clever idea. Like, what if I could put, Black Sabbath with the Bee Gees or whatever the equivalent would be at that time? If I could make them all fit together. That's
Well-
like a precursor to a mashup, if you
I was
will.
going to say, they did invent modern times,
yeah.
sort of.
So
Well, that's not a good thing.
I think it's a clever idea. I just wish it wasn't executed so badly. And the singers, whoever the fuck they were, some studio people, I guess.
Yeah, they were faceless
because there's no name. But yeah, and it was on the radio all of the time, at least where I was in Allentown.
Well, say now, let me ask you this, because I don't know. I'm not being, oh, well, actually, I think you're wrong and you got this wrong. do they have an album? I didn't know.
Yeah, it's
I
an
just
album.
know there were singles, but I didn't know they had
I
albums.
could see how they would have put out a whole album.
It's an album.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's
If there's money to be made by putting out a whole
Yeah, I mean,
record.
it's not exactly a shock. I've just never run across these, I guess.
because one of my friend's moms said Mrs. Reswally had it in her house.
I could see that being the kind of thing that sold way more singles than copies of a full
Oh,
album.
definitely. I'm sure they sold a zillion 45s.
But you're probably not going to come across the albums all that much.
Yeah, but it is indeed an album.
Well.
Mm-hmm. Terrible.
It was terrible. All right. Well, with all that god awfulness for you to kind of,
contemplate.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Let us take you away to the world of advertisements.
1980 style-y.
Red sails in the sunset, far over the sea.
His first TV album sold over 1 million copies.
Carry my love.
He's the biggest selling record star in TV music history. The one and only Slim Whitman.
Till I waltz again with you.
Now the magic of Slim Whitman is back in his beautiful, all-new 2-record collection, Best Loved Favorites.
I remember the night and the Tennessee waltz. Roses love sunshine, violets love dew.
You'll love every song in this beautiful 2-record treasury.
All the chapel bells were ringing. 'Twas a great day in his life.
This is Slim Whitman's best collection ever.
Tra-la-la, tra-la-la-lee, there's peace and goodwill. You're welcome as the flowers on Mockingbird Hill.
But remember,
oh, the wayward wind.
This all-new Slim Whitman collection is not sold in any store. Please stay tuned to order.
I know that I could never be this blue if you only love me.
Use your credit card and save COD charges by calling toll-free 1-800-421-2000. Or, to save all additional charges, send check or money order for only $12.98 for albums or cassettes, or $16.98 for compact disc to Slim Whitman, P.O. Box 8449, Atlanta, Georgia. Remember to save all additional charges, send check or money order.
All right, are we back or something?
We're back, meow.
Yeah, we're back. All right, and well, it's time to
meow out there like to meow.
Anyway,
Echo.
tell you what. To get us out of this weird, bizarre sort of bizarro hell that we've just found ourselves in, why don't we take a lovely trip?
Hot in here.
Oh, wait a minute. We gotta go back in time.
Yes, vintage photo time. All right, so here we have Crystal and her sister and her mom at home in Allentown in their living room. Crystal was about to go to a birthday party, and her mom made her that skirt because she wanted to make sure she dressed nice, not in any punk rock clothes or anything like that. And so yeah, her mom used to make clothes for her all the time. She made that skirt for her, and this is me on my birthday in 1981, December 1981. And well, as you can see, I have a few records there in my hand. I don't remember what most of them are, but as you can see at the top there, I have Alice Cooper Special Forces. Yeah, I talked about this earlier in the episode. Yeah, this is a picture from that birthday, and this is the day I got Special Forces by Alice Cooper. All right, so this is Tommy in March of 1981. He's 2.5 years old, and this was taken outside Dallas, Texas, where he and his family lived for about a year. And the little girl next to him is not his sister, but a girl named Lindsay who lived nearby. All right, so there you go, Crystal and me and Tommy in 1981. All right, we're back. And so those were our photos from 1981. And yeah.
Yep.
We're getting older. We're growing up. We're big kids now.
I'm in 11th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am 11.
And Tommy, you were
2 going on 3.
God
going on 3. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, I was 11 going on 9.
But anyway.
The more you know.
So yeah, you know, thank you everybody for watching these videos, and thank you for the people who subscribe. But if you have not subscribed, you know what you need to do. You need to subscribe, and if you subscribe,
ring the bell.
Ring the bell. Yeah, and if you do ring the bell, you're going to get notifications to tell you when our next video is coming out. And you know what our next video is going to be? I bet you can't guess.
1982.
Yeah,
just for you.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about 1982.
Yeah. Oh, but wait, don't forget. Before you make snide comments, look at the links below for my audio podcast, his old audio podcast, and Tommy's
video channel. He has a YouTube channel as well.
For guitar gearhead people.
Guitars and amps.
Yeah. Guitars and amps. Is that what it's
and
called?
Amps. Yeah,
no, it's called Tommy's Tone Vault.
Oh! That's
Tone
brilliant.
Vault.
Tommy's Tone Vault.
Yes.
Come on, you guys know you love alliteration, and
Yeah.
we're always here to bring it to you.
Exactly.
So there we go. All right.
Paul, you look like you're about ready to drop from a heat exhaustion back there.
That's because I am. That is because I am.
Let's get the hell out of here, please.
Tommy, you are very
very astute.
I'm quick.
Yeah, you
quick.
know what's happening. All right, we'll see you next week.
82.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll end up with Al Belly because I had too much candy, and then I went Al Belly. Do you know about Al Belly? Al Belly is when you just eat like a dumbass and you're just laying there like ow.
Oh, Al Belly.
I was gonna assume that. Yeah.
I get Al Belly a lot.
Because ow.
Melissa's got to put up with me having Al Belly. I'm just laying on the couch like ow. I did too much food.
And she goes into another room and closes the door.
No, she would never do that. There's like no other rooms.
She could go in the bedroom. You lay on the couch, she goes in the bedroom.
No.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we're going.
No, we're not going. Well, we're running, but we're not actually in yet. But we should go in.
Okay.
Let's go in.
Let's go.
3, 2, 1.
Well, all right.